So hello everyone, we're the team of Lab SNG behind the Slovak National Gallery. My name is Filip, I'm the lead designer. With me is Katarina, our user researcher, and František, our developer. Together, we'll be talking about how we use technology within the gallery context to enhance the visitor visits. And as I said, the Slovak National Gallery is the biggest gallery in Slovakia that welcomes around 9,000 people a month. And it's been reopened after nearly a 20-year-long reconstruction just by the late 2022.
So us and our colleagues from the Lab SNG, we are bringing closer together museums with their audiences by different digital means. And our work ranges from developing and managing web umenia.sk, which is a website. It's a catalog, the biggest catalog of artworks in Slovakia and Czech Republic as well. And also we are developing and maintaining our museum website, and also many different digital layers, digital products and services throughout the whole museum.
Our mission is simple: to create digital experiences that are meaningful, engaging, and enrich each gallery visit. We believe that art is for everyone, therefore our tools focus on being accessible, on education, and on enhancing the gallery experience.
Okay, so last year we introduced Atlas SNG, our digital guide, here at the Museum Next conference. The Atlas SNG lets visitors collect and bookmark information about the artworks by entering the code, which they can find nearby the artworks, and they are entering it into the mobile web application. 1 in 5 visitors uses Atlas, which proves that this large scale of the digital experience, it's really working throughout the whole museum. And this also inspired us to develop and design our new adaptable and modular system, which we are presenting today.
So besides Atlas, we've been also working on a set of bespoke digital experiences across the gallery, but these have been mostly built in collaboration with external parties or third parties, such as developers, studios, designers, and people who wrote the content for them. But the user experience of these tools was a bit scattered, right? Like, it was not cohesive, and also how these things looked varied from project to project. So in order to make it even better, we realized that we keep reusing similar molecules of these that allow people to view the content. So images, slideshows, PDFs, 3D scans, 3D objects, virtual tours, and object panoramas. And to make it more integrated to the whole gallery experience, we wanted to bring them all under one hood and to create a modular system that would allow visitors to interact with each of these viewers independently, while making sure that the user experience and visual design is consistent across the whole set of the viewers. And one of the most important things about this is that this allows us to reuse these components, which have been designed separately but together as well, and reuse them across different exhibitions. That saves us a lot of time, a lot of money, and most importantly, gets the stuff to people even faster.
These modules primarily rely on third-party libraries focused on interaction and handling 3D models or high-resolution scans. However, the content management was either non-existent or scattered throughout various CMS provided by the library developers. Therefore, to address this issue, we began developing an admin system that would provide a single entry point to all applications that are available in the gallery. For our technology stack, we decided to go with web technologies HTML, CSS and JavaScript, in contrast to offline solutions such as game engines. This decision then allowed us to connect to online databases and existing APIs. Furthermore, it allowed us to display the content online and not confine it only in physical space. And lastly, it allowed for simple and on-demand changes to the artworks, annotations, and other content.
So we designed 3 different designs because we wanted to find out which layout will work the best, and we decided to test it in the Sacred Art exhibition because there are many large-scale objects and artworks. We had 3 different layouts: the editorial-like, which were a little bit more scattered and more storytelling-ish. We had also the grid layout and the horizontal layout. For our big surprise, the editorial-like or the chaotic one wasn't receiving very positive feedback. Because of the different elements, many texts, the people didn't get very much attention to the content, and it was overwhelming. They also said that if this was a regular website, it would be just fine, but in the exhibition setting, it felt just challenging. In contrast, the grid and horizontal layout they felt comfortable with. It was really familiar to them, and even though they said it was a little bit more boring than the previous one, they easily navigated through it. They paid much more attention to the content rather than figuring out how to interact with it.
This first project served as a foundation. It unified the design and the functionality of each component, and therefore now we are able to create more site-specific apps, and which will have unified design and functional consistency.
And one of the site-specific projects that we started to build on these individual modules that we've been creating and making them more custom was employed in an exhibition called Design Unpacked, which is a large collection of objects, product design, graphic design, applied arts of Slovak artists of 20th century. Imagine a cube, quite a small one, an 8 by 8 meter space with a central seating inside, and along the walls on shelves are these objects exhibited. But what's also essential or central to the experience is that these objects are presented in groups, sometimes both 2 and more objects together, and this is not immediately visible to the naked eye. Because these groups are often created upon different relationships between the artworks beyond just the formal ones, and sometimes it requires people to obtain a bit of a different view how to look on these. So the biggest challenge was to make sure that people who see this exhibit also understand these groupings of objects. As the physical space was quite limited, the challenge of ours was to make sure that people are familiar with these groupings while not overcrowding the physical space. From the get-go, we knew that this space will feature a central seating point, a sort of a research station, as we called it, where the visitors were meant to, sit down and explore the exhibition at their own pace. And to cater to this, we used 2 touch screens that are present in this space, and created a digital interface, sort of a catalog, sort of another viewer, you could say, that would allow them to sit down and research at their own pace. Given the success of Atlas in the Slovak National Gallery, we knew that people are engaged with digital technology and intrigued by it. So our challenge became to present this quite specific layout or quite specific representation of the exhibition within an interface that allows people to find the objects easily and essentially create this kind of connection between the physical and digital space. So the first things that we started testing were based on our observations from the Sacred Art exhibition, and that was building a grid-like UI, which were actually proven in testing that people struggled to find particular artworks within this grid-like UI. So therefore our goal became to bridge the physical and virtual spaces and allow visitors to find objects instantly in the digital space as much as they're able to in the physical one.
The first idea we had was to reuse the old module that we had for displaying 3D models. And we wanted to display the whole physical space of the exhibition inside the app. However, this solution had multiple problems with it. There was just too much information in the 3D model, such as the colors of the walls or the shelves, which were not important for the exhibition. We wanted to focus only on the important stuff and the artworks themselves. Therefore, the other solution we came up with was the 2D representation of the 3D space. And we took inspiration from subway maps, or also called topological maps. And we only kept important information, such as the relative distances between the artworks and their relative sizes.
And this is how the final solution looked like. So it's a 360 panorama of the exhibition space mapped into this topological map, into a grid, where the distances between the artworks and their relative scale is represented. It was a bit challenging to find a balance between the cleanliness, or rather the simplicity, or focusing on the artworks, and not enough visual stimuli, I would say, that through iterations led to this kind of pegboard-like visual. And additionally, people could interact with the groups. After tapping them, they were able to read the curatorial narrative about the groupings and why it's important. And also, we added pictures or photos from different angles, because, like, as you can see it in the exhibition, you can't touch anything, and sometimes the objects are very interesting also from other angles. So people could zoom in, and this way they could interact with the whole space within the touchscreen. So the exhibition is permanent, but there are changes throughout the whole portfolio of objects exhibited. And what is important, that we accompanied this front end with a admin interface that also mirrored how it all looks within the touchscreen. In order to have instant access, we built an interface that allows us to make these changes on the fly.
Okay, so during the process of designing an iteration, we conducted few user testings. One of our biggest wins was our approach to represent the space with the topological map. And it was really easy to understand right from the first design. People easily navigated through the app and realized that the groups of objects are in the same position and same order as around them. We observed also, let's call it two-way bouncing behavior, which is about that most of the people came into the exhibition, they looked around, they viewed the objects, and then came to the research station, to the app, and just browsing or selecting and looking at the objects they liked. And many of them, while browsing, they found out also some other group of objects or objects they didn't really notice in the real space, but they were interested by the picture. So this is really interesting that we are not just taking the people to the app, but also bouncing them back to the physical space. We observed two groups of readers or visitors. The first group reads in a bottom-up way, which means that they are just browsing, opening up group after group, and just swiping right down at the bottom paragraphs. They are just scanning or reading a few of the paragraphs, and they just remember some specific information about the objects. The other group, which is reading in a top-down way, they are starting with headlines, then going through or really reading the introduction, and then skimming or reading some of the paragraphs. The first group, by skipping the headline and the introduction, they didn't really get the main value of the application and the whole exhibition as well. So there was an idea to highlight in bold some of the keywords in the text, also the name of the artworks and artists, and this really helped them, also both of the groups, but also those who are just scanning, to at least somehow get the idea of the connections. And also about the physical space, the mounted tablet really helped people to feel more secure and solid when they interacted with the application and tablet, rather than having the tablet just in their hands. They were really just scared that it will fall out and break.
And also, it's important that we provide more cues in the space to actually tell people what to expect from this interface within the exhibition, because although it's presented in the middle and it's quite visually strong or visually present, it still is not apparently engaging enough for everyone or more people to interact with. So, yeah, and also in regards to the collaboration between other departments and curators and essentially everyone involved, this project was very effective in terms of collaboration, meaning that we've been involved in the process from the very beginning. And this is crucial when a digital experience is so closely tied to the physical one, or rather augmenting it. And that means that it needs to be considered from the very beginning, from the way how it's presented in the space, from how much room people have to interact with, and what is the essential psychological aspect of the interaction for the digital part to fit seamlessly in. We've been iterating with the whole team very closely. So so everyone was in touch across all the stages of the project, since the ideation, design, implementation, and the research. And this also improved or made the process more systematic, also with the curator team and also with the tech team that supports this part technically. So what we have learned? So we learned that it paid off to invest in developing a interface that we haven't tried before, because the most important thing was to bridge and mirror the physical space also within the interface. And also additionally that this app also becomes an extension of the catalog, of the printed catalog for the exhibitions, because it allows people to have a bit of agency, interact with it on their own, zoom in, check different parts of the objects or different pictures, and also read the text that wouldn't fit otherwise.
Yeah, we also learned that it's okay that people are not reading everything because the gallery or the museums are big. There are many exhibitions, and it's okay to help them and make the text more comprehensible in a shorter time period. And also it is crucial to make them interact more with the digital layer in a way that is really easy to understand and to interact with, and also that is important to somehow connect the physical space and the app and communicate the value of the product.
Finally, the creation of this modular system with unified design and functionality proved to greatly reduce the production cost and time.
So although this was a long process to go through all these iterations to the result that we got to, we've proven that it's possible to augment a physical space with a digital layer by providing this additional curatorial narrative. In terms of our approach as the lab, we are constantly finding or looking for opportunities to enhance the physical exhibits with digital content. And in places where the narrative or the specific presentation is not necessary, we are utilizing the modular environment, and in the site-specific ones, we are building upon the modules that we are reusing. So we're very grateful for being able to shed some light into how we work at Lab and how we use technology to imbue the exhibits with a bit of digital spark. And yeah, we're looking forward for your questions in the upcoming section. So thank you very much.
Thank you.